is Lord Paddy Ashdown. On behalf of the citizens of my country, I express profound respect for this righteous man. The United Kingdom recognized that spreading the truth about the genocide against Bosniaks is not important only for Bosnia and Herzegovina and the region. In a time of complex global relations, it is important to know that the truth has its guardians. That is why it is important that we work together to strengthen the culture of peace, encourage advocates of justice, institutionally protect the legacy of UN courts, promote dialogue, condemn the glorification of war criminals, and strengthen educational systems as a platform for genocide prevention. Unfortunately, at the very moment when we mark 30 years since the genocide against Bosniaks was committed, Bosnia and Herzegovina faces new threats. 11 months ago, here in London, I said that the continued tolerance of the anti-Dayton and the pro-Russian policies of the authorities of the Republika Srpska entity could lead to the destabilization of Bosnia and Herzegovina. Unfortunately, my words have proven to be true. For nearly 4 months, a brutal attack on the constitutional order of Bosnia and Herzegovina and the Dayton Peace Agreement has been underway. Ladies and gentlemen, the current security crisis in Bosnia and Herzegovina cannot be understood without knowledge of the broader context. Moscow has long been working to destabilize the Western Balkans with the aim of diverting attention away from Ukraine. Russia provides concrete and strong support to its proxies in the region, especially to the authorities of the Republika Srpska entity. It is no coincidence that Putin has received the president of Republika Srpska entity 26 times. Putin does not receive anyone by accident. Russia has exploited every weakness of the West. If the threat in Bosnia and Herzegovina is underestimated, Russia will seize this opportunity as well. The democratic world and Bosnia and Herzegovina must not allow the argument of force to prevail over the argument of law. Ladies and gentlemen, 30 years after genocide, crimes against humanity, and other war crimes in Bosnia and Herzegovina, my country is once again facing serious threats. Evil that is not stopped at the beginning becomes greater and more dangerous. Together, let us stop this new evil in Bosnia and Herzegovina. Through a culture of remembrance, we fight for democracy and human rights. I thank the United Kingdom for preserving the truth about the genocide in Srebrenica. We are a country that remembers and appreciates its friends and allies. May the friendship between Bosnia and Herzegovina and the United Kingdom live forever.
Now we're going to be having a hymn as everybody stands together to sing, O God of earth and altar, bow down and hear our cry, our earthly rulers falter. Well, we'll let the rest be heard itself.
Yes, and indeed. After that, I think we'll be going for an address, most likely. Yes, it will be followed by a New Testament reading.
I mean, it's very deep, to be honest, Mevish. All of this, you know, the words that they've chosen, the hymns they've chosen, the the Testament, the New Testament quotations that they've chosen, the song, the White Rose, it's all ever so deep. And you know, I am all for the memorial and remembering, but I keep saying, where's the lesson? Do we learn from this? The people that are present today, we hope that they will hear and the cries that are currently being cried out on the other side across the globe.
Absolutely, and like Angela Rayner said, you know, the West was acted too late, and I hope the West doesn't act too late when it comes to the current genocide and occupation.
Yeah. As she quoted herself, they acted too late in the Bosnian genocide, but we are in a current genocide, not just in one place, in globally, but in a few places.
So yes, indeed, that was a nice address, the last one by President Dennis.
Yes.
He kind of reflected a lot more, and he mentioned the members present directly.
He addressed them personally.
So that was great. It wasn't something that was just generated there. But you know what? It's amazing. Like, you know, we had the Mufti, and I think we needed a bit more in this memorial, a lot more.
I mean, more emphasis
on the Islamic teaching
side.
of, because as we reflect, these were Muslim men and boys. They were persecuted because of the religion.
The genocide was based on the faith. And I mean, you can see there are people there. I mean, you can see the ambassador of Palestine, Hussam Zomlot, his excellencies there also. I'm sure they are speaking. He is speaking he's on the list for speaking as well. So it'd be very interesting to see what he would say
going forward. Yes.
Going forward, but I'm not fully sure what time we'll be able to cover that. But he is on the schedule.
The first heaven and the first earth had passed away,
And here we
and
are
the
hearing the
sea
New
was no
Testament
more.
reading.
And I saw the holy city, the new Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. And I heard a loud voice from the throne saying,
Piece that's been chosen to read from the New Testament.
Yes.
Um,
About the holy city and the New Jerusalem coming
yeah,
down.
I mean, what does that exactly mean? Because we are in a situation where the people of Gaza, people in Palestine, and even West Bank, which is very close to Jerusalem, is always very troubled. You know, they are suffering a lot, and they have been for a very, very
77
long time.
years to be exact.
And when will it be highlighted that this genocide needs to stop?
Absolutely.
And not just there, but you know, many other places. And why are these genocides taking place? What's the motive behind that? When is this going to stop? It's well and fine to for us to gather and remember. And as I mentioned, I'm all for that, and I think it's great to have these memorials because it's not to forget. We must not forget. Yes, we move on with life and we have to progress and evolve, but it's also a reminder it's a lesson to learn from, isn't it?
Absolutely. Like we always say, we always teach, the history has a funny way of repeating itself, and we see it time and time being repeated, what's happening right now. And indeed, it is time for everybody. May, you know, I would just pray for these people. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you know, guide us and everybody to open their eyes and reflect on what's happening around them, with the children dying of starvation, food being used as
a weapon
of war.
Yeah, as a weapon of war, and not only opening their eyes, but open their hearts to being human. Being human again, and you know.
I think, not I think, but it is the anthem the choir is singing right now. Words from Francis Quarles, 1592, he's a poet. A good night. Music by Richard Rodney, I believe.
It's just, it still makes me very sad, all of this, but, you know, it's, what are we going to do about it? Are they, what, you know, I mean, I really want to hear some of the speeches.
Yes, I think
really
the
want to hear
next address from the Dean of St. Paul's, it'd be nice to hear what he has to say regarding what happened and what's happening, if you'd mention.
Yeah, I mean, he's, the anthem's happening, but I'm wondering if the prayers are going to be taking place after that, and then I think they're going to do, I guess, a little bit more prayers and kneeling down, and some will remain seated. But the speeches, I'm really interested to hear what else is going to be spoken about today. Oh, well, do you think they'll be allowed to address specifically? In the lady that spoke in the beginning, although we couldn't understand the language, she did say Palestina. She did say that. So it's important to mention it, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Not just today at the Memorial, but in general, everyday people like us and people that are watching today. We have to use every platform we have, whether it's big or small. We must use our voices, our brains, our skills. We must speak about it.
Yeah,
and
it's nice thing to discuss news. Sometimes, you know, families say we shouldn't discuss news in front of the children, and exactly, and it's to.
Yeah.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also says that He's not going to change until people change themselves.
Yeah,
so
people's situations. Yeah, He won't change people's situations until they change themselves. So, and that makes you think about not the people in Palestine, but the Ummah, the other people there, the rest of the forms of the body. What are we doing? Are we doing enough? Are we changing? You know, some recent events that have taken place have started other conversations. People are now feeling a little bit like, oh no, what's going to happen now with the current attack in Iran and Israel, for example? And, you know, it's making people question a little bit more about themselves now because they feel it's a bit closer to home. Is that what it takes for things to get too close to home, for us to wake up a little bit more and want to be actively involved and raise our voices, our platforms to
oh, there
highlight.
we go. There's the Dean of St. Paul's Cathedral.
The Revelation to John the Divine says, "Then I saw a new heaven and a new earth. Death will be no more. Mourning and crying and pain will be no more, for the first things have passed away." The verses from Surat al-Takwir, read for us by His Eminence the Grand Mufti, refers to the rolling up, the folding up of the sun, the stars falling, the mountains moving as signs of the day of judgment. Similarly, Surat al-Imran reminds us that we are all, Jews, Christians, Muslims, subject to this day of judgment. For all people of faith, it reminds us of the solemn and holy accountability which stretches beyond the jurisdictions of the courts as we will stand before God, our Maker and our Redeemer. Remember yesterday, act today. Our recent commemorations here in St. Paul's Cathedral of the 80th anniversary of Victory in Europe Day focused on the personal cost paid by Londoners during the Second World War, a period of immense turmoil, not only for those living in the capital, but more devastatingly for those millions caught up in the genocide of the Holocaust and the Generalplan Ost. Yet from the ashes of those fires rose up a phoenix which has given a name and recognition to others who have been deemed less than human by their oppressors.
Just 3 years after the ending of the war, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights in December 1948 asserted, whereas recognition of the inherent dignity and of the equal and inalienable rights of all members of the human family is the foundation of freedom, justice, and peace in the world. Whereas it is essential, if man is not to be compelled to have recourse at the last resort to rebellion against tyranny and oppression, that human rights should be protected by the rule of law. Extraordinarily, that declaration was preceded the very previous day by the adoption of the Genocide Convention, the convention that defines genocide as any of the 5 acts committed with intent to destroy in whole or part a national, ethnic, racial, or religious group, the killing of members of the group, causing them serious bodily or mental harm, imposing living conditions intended to destroy them, preventing births, forcibly transferring children. That is why the United Nations General Assembly resolution referred to by the Bosniak member of the presidency and adopted in May last year, designating the 11th of July as the International Day of Reflection and Commemoration of the 1995 genocide in Srebrenica, is so important and significant. The resolution, sponsored by many countries, urges the international community to remember yesterday, but act today. So as we gather in this sacred place, this cathedral, which itself was scarred by enemy action in the bombing raids of 1941, we lament the heinous crime against humanity at Srebrenica, the first in Europe since the Second World War, and we honor those whose lives were brutally snatched away. Yet we also acknowledge that humanity's ability to inflict inhumanity knows no bounds, whether it is the Russian war against Ukraine, the Syrian conflicts of the Middle East, which have engulfed Israelis, Palestinians, Syrians, Lebanese, and now Iranians. And we acknowledge, even though less mentioned, Afghanistan, India, Pakistan, Myanmar, DRC, Haiti, Sudan, the Sahel, the list could go on. But today is above all an act of hope for the future. It is a celebration of the resilience of a noble people, individually and collectively, and we honor the hope that you represent for all humanity. So may our commemoration become also a prayer for the new heaven and the new earth for which we long. We remember yesterday and we act today.
St. Paul's.
He mentioned everybody in there.
Yeah, and it's great that he did.
Absolutely.
And you know what I liked about his speech is that this should be the hope for the future, which is something I guess we are all waiting to eagerly see. Some of that, mercy, on the
Absolutely. Some
innocent
places
civilians.
I think we have, myself have even ignored or maybe forgotten about Myanmar, about what happened in Afghanistan. The country is still being still building itself up with their own resilience,
Yes.
with a very less funding from the West.
So, maybe obviously they're commemorating today here in St. Paul's, but the actual day of the Srebrenica anniversary is the 11th of July.
Yes,
So it must be that there must be a prominent day or something, maybe that
30 years of the Srebrenica genocide. That's why they've been doing this, the special memorial held in the UK. And yes, as we know, Islam Channel will be providing the live coverage as well on 11th of July.
Yes, as always, Islam Channel does cover this live. That we're going to have a team there in Bosnia to cover this. And so you will get all those updates and a real sense of what it's like to have the Memorial Day in the actual country of the genocide itself. But yeah, going back to this last speech I really do hope that this will wake some of the hearts of people, and that the people that there are some great people that are doing some great work, but we can strive together more, furthermore, inshallah, to try and stop the injustices in the world. I mean, ultimately, what are we here as humans for? What it comes down to. We're here for many things. We want to do this, dreams and all of this and stuff, and ambitions and plans, and
Imagine this: we've got our dreams and ambitions and plans, and people who are right now in that war zone or living in those severe condition, chaotic. What's life for them? What do they plan for? They don't plan. They're just surviving a day as it comes, with hunger, with chaos, with destruction all around them.
Yeah.
We labour for peace, justice, and mutual respect, and widen our hearts to receive the stranger and the wounded.
Chair Young
Lord,
Ambassadors of Remembering Srebrenica in the UK.
God of promise, you breathed life into a single humanity and made us in your image. We praise your name for every place
She's the second
in which
generation
diverse
survivor.
peoples
There you
live
go,
together
another
in
survivor.
harmony. Teach us to recognize in one another a reflection of your love. Lord, in your mercy, hear our prayer.
God of life, whose son wept at the grave of his friend Lazarus, hold in your tender mercy the souls of those who perished at Srebrenica.
Young girl speaking
and
now
all
is
victims of
Adsa
genocide and
Kustura.
violent hatred.
She's a second generation
Comfort
survivor
those
as
who
well.
mourn, and surround with your care the families, friends, and communities still crying out from the depths of grief. Lord, in your mercy, hear our prayer.
God of compassion, our stronghold and our
We
redeemer
now have
through every
Amar
age.
Zulic.
Kindle in us
He
a
is
version
again
of your
the second
kingdom,
generation
where
survivor.
truth and mercy meet, where tears are wiped away and peace is restored. Renew in us the courage to live by your love and to work for justice with all our strength. Lord, in your mercy, hear our prayer.
Longing for the coming of God's kingdom of justice and peace, let us pray in the words that Jesus taught us. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is
Some
the kingdom,
prayers being
the power, and the
recited.
glory forever.
Lord, in your mercy, hear our prayer. Oh, it's just... So
We've
some
got
of
another
these,
hymn now.
yeah,
so while
another
it is
hymn being recited there, and an interesting choice of hymns because a lot of them do connect very much to the current situation, isn't it, Marish? It's just so, it's hard to think past right now. I mean, of course, it's a Srebrenica genocide 30th anniversary that we're discussing and watching live happening in St. Paul's Cathedral in London, which is obviously a very prominent day in history. But you can't help but think about the current situation we are in.
Yeah, and if you didn't know what happened then in Srebrenica, it's happening now. So it's happening now in the news. So pick it up, Myanmar,
I mean, what do we have
Sudan,
to do?
Gaza, Yemen, Iran. So it's happening, and Lebanon as well.
Lebanon, yeah.
So it's sad that I think, you know, it was important to address. I understand because it's St. Paul's Cathedral, and it's important to address
and it's great.
All faiths and all religion, but that the religion only talks about love, peace, and unity and tranquility, and oppression and war is not liked by any religion or any race. So this is indeed something that needs to be reflected. Again, that's why I think they've chosen these hymns and these prayers, because as human beings, I think we work better with repetition.
Yeah, I mean, they connect, as I said, it's very very connected to the current situation. This isn't very different. This is 30 years ago. What has changed and what have we learned? Because, and what change is going to come about this gathering today? You know, we've got very important people there. We already heard Angela Rayner, who's the Deputy Prime Minister. We've got other prominent MPs, councillors.
We've got Mayor of London there as well.
Mayor of London, you know, we've got really, you know, we haven't heard all the speeches yet because the Mayor of London hasn't come on yet. And we've got His Excellency Zomlot, the ambassador for Palestine, and you know there are prominent people there. And what's going to be the message? And who's going to take that on board? And what's going to be the change for tomorrow?
The change for tomorrow is yet to come.
I mean, I'm just thinking from a Palestinian person's point of view. If they were to see this today, what would they think about? What would they think of this?
I mean, it's my personal opinion. I'm not going to say that, but it's just which shows.
It's a very respected, honourable thing to do.
It shows just if I were to, I mean,
because
I would be being ambassador to stop all this. If I'm in that position, if I'm in that position politically to make a difference.
But would you? But you wouldn't last in that position politically.
We've seen that. We've seen that.
Had you voiced your full opinion, you know, it's just ultimately, look, it boils down to: are we human enough to make a change?
Yeah, we were just doing a little prayer there, the blessing.
Render to no one evil for evil. Strengthen the faint-hearted, support the weak.
Religion only teaches love, like I say time and time again. It doesn't matter. You need to, and humanity teaches you to save a life. Like, you know, we right now we talk about being vegans. You know, we talk about saving Mother Nature. We are the eco warriors.
Yes, we are the galaxy, the guardians of the not galaxy. Sorry, that's the
movie.
The guardians of Earth. That's what we are. We are, you know. So we have religion teaches us this.
Yeah.
It tells us to take care of our surroundings, the people around us,
environment.
And it doesn't say to us to select which faith they're from. It's all faiths. Whoever is your neighbor, take care of your neighbor. To make sure that you take care of humanity, take care of one another, be kind to people. No religion preaches a genocide. So then why are we still in 2025 watching a genocide? While this is happening, while this very ceremony is taking place in St. Paul's Cathedral in London, as we're watching live,
I think we've got very prominent figure. I think some,
right now,
you know, some hearts might change in all this congregation, because like the Dean addressed. I think even if people have been ignorant about what's happening around the world, he's addressed that these things are happening around the world. And it might change, even if changes one person's perspective regarding what's happening around the world, I think it's a victory.
Yes.
Because change doesn't come suddenly, it'll take time. And we've seen, imagine when we first started those marches, those protests.
Yes.
And now you see in Hague, the red line. So it is, inshallah, let's hope for a better future.
Yeah. I mean, you know, looking at today, let's be hopeful. There's a whole lot of people there, a whole lot of different faiths. You can see people from different faiths and probably no faith. But you can see a whole lot of mix of people there. It is quite diverse. Could be a bit more. But there is diversity there. So, you know, let's hope that from this gathering of, you know, remembering, something good will come.
Yes, and yeah.
Well, there you go. A whole lot of conversations we've been having, and we're wondering that, you know, that from this memorial today, that some, not just eyes, but the hearts will awaken, and that we will get something good come out from the current situation, so we do not have to repeat something that happened 30 years ago.
Absolutely. Like, we are going to conclude this special coverage of the UK National Srebrenica Memorial Day. We honour the memory of those who were lost and stand in solidarity with survivors of genocide and conflict around the world. Today's remembrance is a powerful reminder of the urgent need to confront hatred and violence wherever they rise.
Yes, and at this moment, our thoughts also turn to the ongoing suffering in Gaza and in Sudan, and you know, the other countries that are also in conflict. Lots of innocent civilians they are suffering. We continue to be everyone that is impacted by this and by war and displacement. May Allah, you know, God have mercy on them and make it easy for them. And may these lessons of Srebrenica inspire us to all come together, work relentlessly for peace, justice, and compassion in every corner of the globe.
That brings us to the end of today's Salam Britain.
And an interesting show today.
Absolutely, a day filled with news.
Yeah, well, we started off on high, excited to see each other and all of that, and then, you know, we've been up and down with emotions ourselves.
Absolutely. Tears spilling here and there, really getting emotional at the start of the memorial service. We've had some nice recipes from Chef Hamza as well. So we've got a lot of meaningful events and speeches from the memorial service.
Yeah, and hopefully, I mean, there's some of the heart-touching songs and stuff. Really, I really hope and pray that it will help and change some of the things that we, as a government,
have a
are doing.
lasting impact on the situation.
Anyhow, as Islam Britain is here and we're coming to an end, do stay connected with us by following all our latest updates, stories and exclusive content on our website and social media channels.
Yeah, you can also reach us. This is my favorite line. You can also reach us out at our Islam channel email, sb@islamchannel.tv.
Yes. And so, yes, thank you so much for joining us today and being part of this service today. It's been very emotional for us. As I said, it's been a high and low for me in Mevish today. But please do, everybody, take care of yourself. Stay hydrated, stay safe. Keep the prayers going. Keep the sharing going. Keep the ongoing work that everyone is doing. We've got to use all our platform and our voices and, you know, whatever force we can have to try and bring a better world, peace and justice to all.
And peace and blessings to you all. Have a lovely day ahead. We'll see you again tomorrow.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.